The night air carried the scent of damp earth and burning wood as I stood by the river, watching the last candle drift away. The glow of the flames faded into the darkness, swallowed by the shadows of Prince Okelo's palace. For weeks, we had been sending our silent message, and though the prince had yet to respond, I knew he had seen it. I could feel it in the way his guards watched us, in the way fear rippled through the village like a cold wind. I turned to Naya, her face unreadable in the dim light. "What now?" I asked. She was quiet for a long moment, then sighed. "The prince will not ignore this forever. He will act, and when he does, we must be ready." A shiver ran down my spine. I had started this movement out of desperation, out of grief for my brother, but I had not yet considered what would happen when Okelo finally struck back. That night, sleep did not come easily. Every rustling leaf, every distant howl of a wild dog made my heart pound. I lay awake, staring at the thatched roof of our hut, wondering how much time we had left before the prince made his move. The next morning, the warning came. It arrived in the form of silence. The village square, usually bustling with morning chatter and trade, was eerily still. People stood in tight clusters, whispering nervously, their eyes fixed on something near the well. I pushed my way through the crowd and felt my stomach drop. A wooden stake had been driven into the ground, a blood-red cloth tied around it, fluttering in the breeze. It was a message, one we all understood. Prince Okelo knew. I heard Naya's voice behind me, calm but firm. "It begins." Fear clawed at my throat, but I swallowed it down. We had started something we could not turn back from. And now, the prince was watching us just as we had watched him. That night, I made a decision. The candles were no longer enough. If we wanted to stop the prince, we needed to know what was happening inside those walls. We needed to see it for ourselves. "I'm going," I told Naya as we sat by the fire. The others had gathered, waiting for her wisdom, but her expression remained unreadable. "Kato," she began, but I shook my head. "We can't keep waiting. We need to know what he's planning. If we don't, we'll always be one step behind." The fire crackled between us, filling the silence. Finally, Naya gave a slow nod. "Then you won't go alone." I turned to see three others step forward, Juma, the strongest among us, Eo, swift and silent as the night, and Mbeki, a boy who had lost his entire family to the prince's cruelty. Their eyes burned with the same fire that raged inside me. We would go together. The moon was high when we slipped into the jungle, moving like ghosts through the trees. The path to the palace was treacherous, but we had studied it well. Every guard's shift, every blind spot in the wall, we knew them all. As we neared the towering gates, my heart pounded so loudly I feared it would give us away. The palace loomed above us, a dark beast crouching in the night. Somewhere inside, our people were trapped, hidden away in its belly. Juma signaled. The time had come. We slipped through the shadows, past the guards, and into the heart of the lion's den. And deep within those walls, something stirred. Something that would change everything. What do you think awaits them inside the palace? Will they uncover the truth, or will they walk straight into a trap? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're loving this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more, and share with others who love thrilling tales. Your support keeps this journey alive.